I'm Judy Sellner, and I'm with State Street Theater. We are so happy to be able to bring you this program, which is called Something Artsy. For those of you who have never seen Something Artsy, the bottom line is we bring in artsy people.
Lovely.
And we go from there. And today our guest is Dana. Help me with your last name, Dana.
Sikala, Dana Sikala.
Sikala.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. What nationality is that?
That's Finnish.
Finnish.
Mm-hmm.
How do you spell that?
Sikkila. So I'm like a nice mix of Finnish and a nice mix of Irish, all combined into one human being. Yeah.
Very interesting. Oh, I like that. Okay. Well, Dana is here with the 410 project, mm-hmm. which is community art space out of Mankato. And to be honest, Dana, I don't know anything about the 410 project.
And that's okay. That's why I'm here today, to kind of share a little bit about what we do. So 410 Project is a community-based art space. We're also a volunteer-managed community space. So it's a space for the community, run by the community, which kind of sets us a little bit different than maybe some other arts organizations in southern Minnesota. But we have an exhibition program. We do programming for youth and adults when it comes to like classes or writing workshops, professional development. We've done live music, open mics, all of that fun stuff. So it's not just a visual space, it's really more about arts and culture as a whole.
Okay, and where do you have your office?
Where do I have my office? Everywhere, to be honest. So I've been the director down there since 2012, and it's really... So 410 has been around since 2012? Well, 410 has been around since 2003, actually, in the Mankato community. So it was started in 2003 by 3 MSU students who were in the art department that were about to graduate, and they were looking for a place off campus to basically make their work, display their work that wasn't in like an academic setting. So they pulled all their money together and rented out a storefront in downtown Mankato.
Okay, I think that if my memory serves me, you're right. It's not on Front Street?
Yep.
What is that address?
So our address is 523 South French Street. So it's not the original location that we were at. Our original location is 410 French Street. That's where our name comes from, 410
okay.
Project.
Uh-huh.
People are always curious about that. But we're kind of right down in like the new area of downtown Mankato. So we're in that kind of bar restaurant district with a lot of like new shops and restaurants opening up, so it's great to be down there with all that foot traffic and the action.
Right,
mm-hmm.
right. In that area, what other artsy things are there? I know.
Well, in that area, you know, since it is pretty populated with, you know, kind of like the restaurant scene, there isn't like an excessive amount of actual other spaces. Okay. But within the downtown area of Mankato, we have the City Sculpture Walk. That is 1 block off from where we're at, so that's something also too. We have a lot of public art going up in the form of murals as well in the downtown area. So people come down to see us in the space or the artwork within the space. There's other opportunities to be able to visit visual things while down there, which is great.
Okay, so, and I think it would be quite easy to find.
I think so.
Being that it's on Front Street. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great location. And a couple of years ago, we had contracted these 2 street artists to do this huge mural on the top of our building, like the very front of our building. That's this huge beehive that's kind of connects to the space because the 410 is a group of makers that are working together for, you know, one goal, and that's kind of how we relate to the idea of the hive. So we're always like, look for the beehive and you'll find us.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to remember that the next time I come over to Mankato.
Yes, please do.
Yeah. So do you, I went to your website, mm-hmm. which I think everybody should do. Mm-hmm. And it is just really, really interesting mm-hmm. to see what you have available.
Yeah.
Are you the only person that's on staff?
Well, I'm not even, I'm even technically volunteer.
Okay.
Since they opened in 2003, there's never been a paid staff at the 410. So it's really a passion project within the community, and it's kind of just been handed down from artist to artist. There was 2 females before me that were directors, and now I've been here for a good chunk of time. But yeah, it's definitely, you know, people and artists in the community are putting their time and effort in to really make this happen and to keep it sustaining, and as well as keeping like expanding our programming, and and we're there to serve our creative communities. So if that's through music, if that's through writing, if that's through networking, we want to be able to provide that to them.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is really nice. Well, you must be an artist.
I am, yes.
And what is your art?
So my main, I would say, trade is printmaking. So I went to MSU. I did my master's in printmaking. But that kind of transitioned in from doing just like flat two-dimensional work to doing more like sculptural, mixed media. So I'm definitely more of an experimental artist. I'd identify myself as an installation artist. So that's people who create site-specific work. So instead of maybe making a painting in your studio and then you take it and it's finished and you take it and hang it in the gallery, you're bringing these elements into the gallery and then basically composing the work. And it's usually larger scale, it's mixed media, it's on the floor, it's on the wall, actually in the space versus just in the studio, if that makes sense.
Well, somewhat, yes.
It's one of those things that, it's a very broad term, so it's almost like you gotta kind of see different ideas of what installation or site-specific work is.
Right, right. I've got my notes here, and I went to your website, and I would encourage everyone to go to your website.
And it's definitely something that because we were closed for a good chunk of time. We just opened up 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that was
due to COVID. And everyone, especially in the nonprofit world, is trying to juggle how that all looks. So we kind of took the time to close for the summer and really just figure out what we're doing, how can we reopen, and everyone is safe, but we're still supporting artists. So we just opened up 2 weeks ago. We're in the process of updating all of our stuff. If people want to know what's going on like day by day, we're on Facebook. That's a great place for people to find us because it's just so accessible to us, social media.
Very, very, very accessible. Now, if someone does not have access to Facebook and would have questions for you, what would be the best process to use?
The best way if someone wants to communicate with us outside of social media is either they can visit our website and send us an email through there.
And your website is?
the410project.com. Or we do have an email that is the410project@hotmail.com. Our main thing again is just communicating with people. So shoot us an email if you have questions or if you need contacts or networking or just someone to talk to. Send us an email. Or when we're open, come down and visit the space and we'll have that time to chit chat.
And what are your hours?
Right now, our hours are a little bit limited just because we're opening up. So right now we're open Thursdays from 3 to 6, Fridays 2 to 6, and then Saturdays 3 to 6. But we're hoping to, as time goes on, we can expand those. Expand those hours just to give the artists that are showing more time to have their work on display.
Sure. So if I wanted to come over and I wasn't sure, I would just simply call your office if I did not have access to Facebook.
We do have a phone number. We don't have an office phone. It's basically my phone because, again, we're very grassroots.
Yes.
And that's just how we've been from the beginning, but it really works for us. So, again, you can get a hold of us through Facebook really easily. Some people could just contact me directly or email us, So it's pretty easy to talk to us and communicate and,
Wait, one more time, repeat your hours when you are open.
We are open currently Thursday 3 to 6, Friday 2 to 6, and then Saturday 3 to 6. And that's just our regular gallery hours. We're kind of start opening up some programming. So that's different forms of classes. So those are outside of those hours.
Oh, what kind of classes?
We range really truly from, like I said, writing workshops or poetry workshops. We've done things in relationship to puppet making, screen printing, painting. We've done workshops on professional development as well, like how to write an artist statement, how to write a resume. So again, it's kind of a pretty wide span because we're really looking at what people want to participate in versus just throwing something out there and hoping someone is interested. Right. So we really do a lot of communication with our audience and the people coming in the door to see what do you want to learn about, what do you want to make.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. I saw that you do things with kids.
Yes. That's kind of our main emphasis in this space. We do have a mentorship program that we started in 2016. We were doing a lot of group programming for young people like in the years prior, but we were noticing there really wasn't anything in the community that was more of like a one-on-one program for kids that are really creatively inclined, who maybe need to be a little bit more challenged outside of school or at home, or maybe they're interested in getting to know about photography, but maybe their parent isn't familiar with that or doesn't feel comfortable. So we started this program that families can sign up for. Students come once a week and do one-on-one mentorship.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they're doing art practices and activities, but they're also learning how to like communicate about work and talk about artwork and listen to music. And it's really more about like not just making something, it's about gaining self-confidence, improving their skills. It's teaching them critical thinking and problem solving, all of those great things. So that's something we're going to be opening up here in the next 2 weeks as well to our families that are knocking at our door for that to happen. That is for sure.
Right. Well, what do you, in order to reach everybody, how are you doing that? Are you, these masks are something else, aren't they?
Just part of it.
That's exactly right. It's our new normal.
Yes, 100%.
When do the kids call or the parents call you personally then, or do you go to the schools?
No, they approach us. We've been kind of getting well known for our mentorship program because it's very specific. So
when you say specific, tell me what you mean by that.
What I mean by that is a lot of times people will communicate with us, and they want to sign up their kid for like a painting class or something, which is all amazing. But these programs are kind of designed for kids that maybe need a little bit more support, like maybe they have some issues in relationship to anxieties or depressions, or maybe they want to work more one-on-one versus in a group of kids painting. So when parents email us, really sit down and have a discussion of like why do they feel this program would benefit their child as well as their family as a whole as well. And then we just feel like, if it's worth our time and worth their time. So we kind of just make that call of maybe if there's other opportunities in the community that they could do versus coming to our program, because we're limited. We can only have so many children enrolled at one time. And our ages are from 4 to 17. So we even do that program with even a 4-year-old.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Is there a charge?
It's $20 a session, but that covers all the supplies and everything.
Okay.
Yep.
And are there any grants available? Anything out there in the world of grants, in the world of the arts?
There are, when it comes in relationship to that program.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So for Prairie Lakes Regional Arts Council, they give out youth scholarships, which are coming up here in the next month or two. I forget the exact dates off of the top of my head. So I'm on that board. I've been on I think for 6 years now. But they offer youth scholarships to where if someone wanted to, or a family or a young person wanted to apply for a scholarship to get money then to take these sessions, that's definitely a possibility for sure. Or if they're interested in taking music lessons or something within fine arts, they can apply for those scholarships to help families with funds to cover the cost of those. So that's a great opportunity that's happening kind of right now in our community, our region.
Okay, all right. So now how has COVID affected you?
A lot.
Right.
It was really hard because we had our exhibition schedule, planned, and then COVID happened, so we had to shut down our programming, we had to shut down our mentorship program. We were trying to figure out, do we just kind of reschedule artists right away, or do we fully shut everything down? And so it was really hard to make those calls because, people, especially these visual artists that are going to exhibit, they've been working really hard on this work, and they're waiting to display it and show it, but it's kind of we can't really tell you when. So we had to make the call of just basically shutting everything down and starting brand new this fall. So now we've been open 2 weeks, but we're still having to kind of almost reopen like we did at the very beginning. And just reminding people hey, we're here, even though we were only closed a couple weeks, reminding them to still come down and participate in things and view the artwork and appreciate it. So
and it's working.
Slowly,
okay.
Slowly, but it's people still aren't coming out and doing as many things outside of the house, obviously as they used to. So it's slow, but hopefully it's going to be slow and steady with opening it up and bringing more people through the door safely.
All right. So now, what I want to go back to with children.
Yes.
How does this work with the kids?
Any of our programming or the mentorship program?
Well, let's start with the mentorship program.
Okay. Because like I said, when we were doing that group programming, and we still do group programming as well, but that's more like on the weekends and stuff like that, we were just noticing, again, like these kids come in, and I would talk to their parents, and the parents were like, oh, I don't really feel confident like teaching my kid how to paint or how to draw, or like, do I show them artwork on a computer screen? You know, and so some parents or guardians, you know, there's a hesitancy as adults that maybe don't identify as creative people to engage with their children that maybe are, or children, all children are creative. That's how their brains are. Their imaginations are huge. And then we get to be adults, and then our imagination gets really tiny sometimes. But, and that really is concerning to the parents because, you know, when you're teaching basic skills, teaching those things through arts, and like through arts and hands-on making and listening to music and dancing and movement, that's really critical to engage with kids in those ways when it comes to learning things. So I was like, okay, we need to develop something that is specifically for these kids that need that hands-on or creative ways of getting what's in their brain out in some way. So then there's not like frustration or anger or getting upset and all that. So then we just kind of designed this program that was really specific towards that. And then, you know, families just started coming in, and then it was word of mouth, and yeah, it's been great. And so we set up 6-week sessions at a time with families. So they pay, you know, families can either pay each session or they can pay the 6 sessions together. Sometimes families can't really afford, so then we offer them some form of small scholarship as well, because we don't want money to be a barrier, especially for our young people to feel confident about themselves and the way they think or their skill sets. So we do have options for that as well as the youth scholarships too that we're willing to support and help them with that as well. So it's been a great program, and you know, some kids we've been working with for like 2-3 years now, and so we're with these families as these kids grow up and develop. So
that helps you.
Yeah, and it's you know, it's really special to be able to be in that position of
see the progress that they make.
Yeah, and it's amazing, and you know, so it makes myself, because I lead that program, really fortunate to be in that position. Because again, it's not just helping the kid; it's helping the whole entire family as well.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Lori Mathowitz. I'm from the New Ulm Wellness Collective.
I'm Kayla Bartlett of Vitality Acupuncture here at the Well.
And I'm Kinsey Eckstein of Healing Routines.
We're so grateful to have been invited to be on Something Artsy today to show you around the most artsy thing we can think of in New Ulm right now, which is the new Follow Your Bliss mural wall downtown. We're so grateful to the artist Michael Cimino, who helped us envision a space and a piece of public art that would be a destination for both citizens who live here and also tourists who come to visit to stop and take pictures and bike past every night. We see you on our cameras. And also just celebrate different festivals or senior pictures or other milestones in your life, and consider the question in that piece of art, which is, what is your bliss and how are you following your bliss in your everyday life?
Yeah, our original intent for the mural was to create a living memorial for our dear friend Eden Bliss Kalk, who was a massage therapist here at the New Ulm Wellness Collective. And we were craving a place that we could gather together with friends and family to remember her hippie, funky style, her playfulness, her free spirit, and then just in general, like her natural ability to spread joy and bliss wherever she went. And as art has a way of transforming things, the mural has not only done that for those of us that knew her, but also the entire community. So like Lori said, we're really hoping it becomes this destination spot in New Ulm for visitors to come snap pictures with our hashtag
Blissed Out New Ulm.
Blissed Out New Ulm. For families to come and interact. There's so many participatory and playful parts of the mural. And just like to bring up the general conversation of what is your bliss?
I think my favorite part of the interaction is the fact that, so Bliss really loved morel mushroom hunting. So Michael was brilliant, and he came up with a way to hide morels inside of the actual artwork. So there's an undetermined number of morels that are hidden. But come and see, and come at different times of the day, because some of them might be easier to see at a certain time than another. And it's definitely one of my favorite parts, but I feel like I find a different one every time I look at it. But come down to New Ulm, come check out the Bliss Wall. We are located between the Wellness Collective at 15 South Minnesota Street and the Legion. It's in the alley between the two. Come on in, we can't wait to see you. Stop in and see us at the well too, because
Come in and say hi.
we love to hear about what you find and what your family has experienced with your bliss on that day too.
So we're gonna throw it to our little mushroom hunt that we did with our kids out there, and you'll be able to see in the video that follows after this some different parts of the mural you can interact in, and I think they might give away a few of the hiding spots and some of the mushrooms that they may have found to give you a hint of what you might be looking for. So follow your bliss, New Ulm.
Thank you.
I'm in the lotus.
All right, let's find the mushrooms, you guys.
It doesn't smell like anything, but you can try.
So there's one right here.
Does it smell?
Where are they?
I know one's found one.
You found one?
Show me.
Another one right here.
I think they got one over here.
Good one. These are mushrooms.
Hey, Evie, do you want to strike a pose in the middle of this? Can you show us? Ava, do you want to strike a pose right here?
I already found that one.
Strike a pose. Are you ready? Strike a pose. Where did you find one? Oh, way up there.
Mom, I found one.
I see. You found one over here?
I'm gonna get. Can we find the tails?
Well, there's the big mermaid tail right here.
I smell a mermaid tail. Oh, that's not a mermaid tail. Wait.
Well, hello. I'm Judy Sellner, and I am with State Street Theater, and I get to be your host today for something artsy. And my very, very special guest is Carolyn Borgen. And those of us who are affiliated with the board or anything to do with State Street Theater, we just refer to Carolyn as the boss. But Carolyn, what is your title?
I'm a senior administrator at the theater, so I help behind the scenes. I wish I had the talent that you do for the stage, but I do not. I have the talent to be organized.
Oh, and I can attest to that. She is very, very organized, and I don't think we could exist without her.
Oh, thank you. It's so kind.
That is very true.
But
That is
truly,
very
it's
true.
the board, the volunteers, the actors. They are the heart and soul of the theater, and I'm so honored to be a part of that.
Isn't
and to
that,
watch it.
yeah, isn't that right? I'm not on the board per se anymore, but I still keep track of everything because of all of the years that I've put into all of this.
Yes.
And I'm always impressed with how that board operates, what gets done. The meetings are done within an hour, hour and a half, et cetera, et cetera. And so with that in mind, and while I keep adjusting my mask here,
Right.
now would be a good time to talk about what it is like to be on the board.
Right. Well, they've been making a lot of great decisions, and right now, the biggest thing, of course, on everyone's mind is COVID. And so they came up with a safety protocol team, and then we researched, and we had a nurse on the team, and someone's a biochemist, and also works out at the brewery and knows what they're doing. And so we came together to find the best practices for the theater, of course, with the state and then suggestions from Prairie Lakes Regional Art Council. So we have a plan, and we were able to put it into action for our first Sherlock Holmes radio show, and it went off just beautifully. And it was just so, just brought joy to my heart to have the theater alive again and to have the audience enjoying it. So, you know, a lot of protocols include isopropyl spray, where we spray all the seats because that's less harsh than bleach, but also just as deadly to COVID. And hand sanitizers, and we spray the bathrooms down a lot when there are guests in the building. I think it's like every third person now. We go in and we spray everything down. So
Every third person.
Every third person, as
Now,
mandated by the state.
is that CDC recommended?
That's Minnesota State recommended.
Oh, Minnesota Health, okay.
And I am really good at spraying down the bathroom very quickly.
She is, she is.
And so, and just a lot of different safety measures go in place. Our seats are spaced out 6 feet, and we're very lucky because a lot of theaters only had 200 seats to begin with, and operating at 25%, that gets you, what, 50 people in the theater. But with State Street Theater, we had over 800 seats. And so we're able to bring in 200 people safely. And it's just, it's nice to know that we can still provide things to our community in a safe way.
And that is a feather in our hat. I was visiting with a couple from out of town a couple weeks ago up in the Spicer area, and I was telling them how we are so fortunate that we have this big theater. And I can't, as going back all the years that I do go back with all the theater in New Ulm, when all of this happened, we just didn't know how it was going to work.
Right.
But thank goodness it did work, because we would not be where we are right now today, you know, had we not gone ahead and taken that chance with that big theater.
Yes.
And how it has worked, that you have been able to space those seats so that everything is 6 feet apart and that we can follow the CDC agenda. And our cast, we have the big stage, so our cast can be up there. And yes, they're wearing masks also, correct?
Yep.
Okay, yep. Everybody's wearing masks. We're doing everything by CDC. And it is, I'm just so thankful every day.
Yes.
For everything that's happening. And with the board that we have, the executive board, is absolutely wonderful.
The executive board, the main board, and then of course our volunteers, just been all instrumental in getting us through this.
Yeah.
And then being able to find the right way to be able to move forward in a safe way.
And to make our theater guests comfortable.
Yes, and you know, but they've also been visionary in the fact that it's not just inside the building, right? State Street Theater isn't just the building. It's the people, it's the volunteers, it's the actors. And so we come up with something called virtual happy hour, where then our actors went into different establishments in town, and the bartender would explain how to make the drinks. So viewers at home, you could learn how to make those drinks, because not everyone wants to go out to a bar right now.
Right, and you know, so they can go to our website.
Yes.
And that is?
StateStreetNewUlm.org, and they can find this virtual happy hour, our past episodes. But then we also had a music festival outside on the steps. We called it Music on the Steps, right? Original name, I know. But it was a really great way to bring people in the community together for food trucks and to be able to enjoy music outside. And the biggest comment we got every time, I'm so happy to hear live music again.
Yes.
And so we were able to find safe ways. So really just the creativity of the board and our volunteers.
Now you're going to be doing the music outside again, aren't you?
October 3rd, and this will air after October 3rd, but yes, we're calling it our Oktoberfest Music on the Steps.
Yeah. Well, I guess even though this is aired after the 3rd, of course, it's still nice for our public to know that State Street Theater is doing its best to deal with the situation as it is at this point in time. And I have the utmost respect for the board.
Absolutely.
The way, the ideas, the ingenuity, the creativity that people have in order to work around these problems that we have. And the bottom line is, for the listening audience, you probably do realize this, it costs money
Yes.
to keep a theater going. And a monthly bill comes in for the heat.
Yes.
It comes in for the air conditioning. So no matter what season we're at, we have something. And a lot of it is for the comfort of our audience.
Yes. We've been very lucky with our grant writer, internal Mary Ellen Domeyer.
Yes.
Has done a fantastic job. And we've received grants from Prairie Lakes Regional Art Council and the New Ulm Community Foundation.
Area Foundation.
And then we had another foundation that also gave to us, and I think they're more anonymous, so I don't want to
Right.
get in trouble and say the name. But if they're not, then I'll make sure to publicly put it on the website as a makeup for this.
Right.
And then we have some other grants out there that we're waiting to hear back on.
Yeah.
So truly, the arts community in Minnesota is just so supportive of organizations. We're so lucky to live in this state
Yeah.
that they want to see organizations thrive, and they don't want to see them disappear because of this crisis that we're all going through. And I say crisis meaning that, how do you have live theater? How do you with something, and I'm just in awe of the arts community in general. I've watched artist after artist pivot so quickly to help accommodate, to make sure that there's still art in our community, because it's so powerful right now to have.
Yeah, there is a very strong sense of that here in New Ulm. Once we got the theater established, I think the community has really come up behind us to support
Yes.
the theater, and it's been absolutely wonderful. And we have to thank you folks out there for this, because we couldn't do it without you.
No.
There's no doubt about it.
Just, we are so lucky our theater is in the community that it's in. New Ulm is just so strong of the arts and just creativity in general.
Right, it's a feather in our hat.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's a feather in our hat.
Or
Another
our
reason.
Lederhosen, our design Lederhosen, right?
Yes. Well, and I think theater too is another way to bring new people into town. If somebody's coming in for looking at a job, has an offer, and if they see that we are active in the arts, it's just, like I said, it's a feather in our hat.
Well, and we just don't do theater at the
Right.
State Street Theater, which I love. We play movies. We have concerts. It's
Yeah, well,
just such a
what's
wide
coming
range
up
thing.
now?
Well, I'm contractually not allowed to say the title of the movie, but you can go to statestreetnewulm.org if you don't know what I'm talking about. But one would say, take a step to the left, right? The time warp. This is what made the time warp famous. This is the only time during the year you're allowed to throw toilet paper freely in the theater.
I'll even
even-
bring toilet paper. I'll furnish it.
I was so happy when we were in that toilet paper shortage. I got 100 rolls from Amazon, and I thought like I won the lottery because it was for the movie. And I'm like, we sell the toilet paper, and I thought, the mailman's delivering it, and I can't imagine what he was thinking, delivering 100 rolls of toilet paper. The fun things that happen working behind the scenes at the theater.
Right.
And so this movie is fantastic. It's going to happen on Saturday, October 31st at 8:30. This is 18 plus, unless you have your parents' permission.
And they can come in
Dressed up, yes, absolutely, in costume. I would like to see a couple Dr. Frankenfurters, please.
Oh, I'd like to see more than a couple. I don't know if they can beat Tom, though, after last year.
No, Tom Kaler just killed it last year. It's a moment that I'll never forget.
Yeah, we'd like to see someone challenge them, though.
Yes,
I think
yes.
that would be great.
And tickets are only $10.
Yeah.
So then moving on, we have something called, usually with pre-COVID, we had the shopping opener downtown with the chamber, and we would always have some kind of concert. So we are going to move forward with our concert this year, and it's on Friday, November 6th. It's going to happen at 7:30. This is the fun thing. Tickets this year, we are offering student rates. So $15 for adults pre-sale, $10 for students.
And when you say student, what age?
18 and under.
Anything 18 and under. So if I come with a 5-year-old,
There, $10.
okay.
You pay $5 more because you're an adult.
Okay.
Now
Sounds
this
good.
event usually includes some kind of fun dessert. And then they have a themed drink for, extra purchase. So this year's group is called Duly Noted, and it's dueling pianos. But here's the thing. Usually dueling pianos are men.
Yeah,
But for this
trying to
one,
entice
they're
her.
females. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
They
me
look like a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
I love dueling pianos. So
Yes. Yeah.
can't go wrong with a good dueling piano act.
So these will be grand pianos that they're playing? Do they bring their own pianos?
They bring their own pianos. I think they're
Whoa.
actually like, they have like a box that they bring, and then they roll the piano in there. I don't know how it works, but they bring their own pianos, so we don't have to.
You know, I often wonder, do they have to tune them themselves then, or do they have a...
I think it's digital, to be honest, for this one.
Oh, okay.
So but I would think if you're bringing in a baby grand,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a tuner with you,
Yeah.
traveling with you as well.
Yeah, or know how to do it yourself.
Oh my goodness, yes, that would be a fun trade. To learn
I
how to
don't know.
tune pianos, then you retire and you're just ding,
Yeah,
ding.
ding,
Sorry,
ding, ding.
I digress. And then in November,
Yeah.
weekend before Thanksgiving, November 20th through the 22nd, we have Charlotte's Web. I'm so excited. Children's Classic, right as I hit my mic. Children's Classic. It's going to be at State Street Theater, and it's just going to be a wonderful time. The way they're doing this, it's going to be a reader's forum. So each actor is going to be in their own spot, 6 feet apart. They're going to have their own kind of scene set up behind them and their own props. So they're still acting out with each other, but they're kind of in their own contained space. Now, tickets are $10 pre-sale adult, $5 for students. Make sure you get your tickets early. They're already
So, again,
yes.
students 18 and under.
Yes, 18 and
are all
under.
$5.
$5. Here's the thing. We only have 200 seats. When we sell out, and there's nothing we can do. So buy your tickets early at Hy-Vee in the chamber or online at statestreetnewulm.org. Now, we already have our tickets out for Charlotte's Web, so you can go and purchase those tickets already.
And sales are going well?
Yes,
already?
make sure you buy your tickets early. It's Charlotte's Web. We had so many people come out to audition for it. We were shocked.
Yeah.
Just, considering you're like, it's COVID, people might be a little bit more
So,
shy. And
who's playing Wilbur?
I didn't hear. I heard that we have a 15-year-old playing Fern,
Okay.
and Tom Kaler is the dad,
Okay.
and his wife Deb's the mom, and that's kind of all I heard. I haven't gotten an official list. This is like, me pulling teeth, like, okay, come on, tell me, what part did you get? So we will post those online, but I can't wait to find out who's Wilbur.
Yeah.
Who's Charlotte, right?
Right.
I know Michael Costers is involved too. I don't know what part he's playing, but I know he is involved.
Oh, I think I know who he is. Anyway, I know how I would have cast him.
Right. Judy's also a director, and she's like, well, this is how I would have done it.
Be it right or be it wrong.
But it was really exciting is they had new people that we've never seen before come to the theater.
Isn't
so
that
exciting?
Yeah, that
So
is so
exciting,
great.
yeah.
Well, now, Carolyn, if somebody who is watching this is interested in something maybe next spring,
Right.
what is the best way for them? What should they do?
You can reach us on our Facebook page by messaging us, State Street New Ulm. You can contact us through our website at statestreetnewulm.org. You can call us at 359-9990 or email us at statestreettheater, ER for theater, at gmail.com and just say, hey, put me on your contact list for actors. What that means is you'll be the first to know when auditions are coming up, but then I'll also bug you for volunteering opportunities. Because we always need bodies to come in and usher and take tickets, and then you get to be a part of the magic for free. You get to go and watch for free.
And when you're saying bug them to do other things too. Everybody is important.
Oh, absolutely.
Anybody who steps foot into that theater is so important. We've got some of the greatest ladies who usher, and they've been ushering for the last 15 years.
Yes.
God bless those ladies.
Oh, I love them.
Well, and a couple of guys.
Yes.
A couple of guys. They drag
But there are a couple Turner ladies there that also come over and volunteer at the theater, and I love them. And one of my favorite stories is, I think her name is Lois, and she told me that she's looking at the telephone booth that we have, and the telephone still works because I was there with Judy at the theater, and all of a sudden we hear this telephone ringing, and I'm like, whose cell phone is that? And we all check, right? Like and there was none of us, and we're like, that's spooky. And then we opened the door, and the telephone was actually ringing. It was a NUVERA checking to see something. Anyway, she said she actually got suspended from school because she got caught kissing a boy in that telephone booth. And lo and behold, she married that boy. And I'm just like, these are the stories that you get with volunteers that I love hearing about the connection to the building and their connection to New Ulm. Right. And I love it. And so every volunteer, every actor, they're all just such an important part of the theater as a whole.
Right. They are. They are. A lot of times people think you have to be on the stage, in order to be contributing.
Right.
And that just isn't true.
No, without the person running the tech booth, no one would hear the actors on the stage.
That's right.
Without me cleaning the bathrooms, no one could use them.
That's exactly it. Been there, done that, and we all have, right? Yes, yes. Okay, what else is coming up? Johnny Cash.
Yep, we have Johnny Cash on Saturday, November 28th, and that's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Tickets are $20, and we only have 18 tickets left. So by the time you see this, probably like 10. Make sure you go and buy those down at Hy-Vee or online at statestreetnewulm.org. And then finally for today, the famous and the lovable ladies of Lutheran are coming back. The Lutheran ladies, Sunday, December 13th, 2 o'clock show. Tickets are $12.50 for adults, $8 for students. We only have 200 tickets, so buy them now. They're online, statestreetnewulm.org.
Okay, now, a question. Should the COVID take a drastic dive?
Right?
So that then...
I hope. Woo!
Yeah, right. If CDC says, oh, you can seat more now, well, let's try this. Then more tickets we would make more tickets available.
We would open tickets up, yes.
We would open them up.
Yes.
Okay.
Just the same if the CDC says, things are getting a little crazy, you have to knock it down to 15%. We would then reevaluate.
Adjust.
And yes, absolutely. It's very fluid situation, and we always communicate through email, Facebook, and press releases to our public of what's going on.
Right. But I would certainly recommend that if you really want to go, these gals are great. The Looney Lutherans are absolutely wonderful. And you know what? They're just as crazy and nice in real life as they are on the stage. They're just wonderful, wonderful women. And I would definitely go ahead and get those tickets ASAP.
Yes.
I don't think I would wait.
That's our most popular show.
Yeah, I don't think I would wait.
Because we had, 600 people there last time.
Yeah, but we had them do 2 shows though.
Right, and so get your tickets early.
And this year they're only doing 1.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, all right.
So.
All right, anything else?
That's it for the year. Thank you so much, Judy. I appreciate it.
I think our time is pretty well used up.
I'm smiling, you can't tell, but.
I know. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you the next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Benji Iniger. I'm the Executive Director of Pro Musica Minnesota. And I just wanted to tell you about something cool and interesting that's happening with our organization right now. So for the past 4 seasons, Summit Avenue Music Series has been producing concerts at Chapel of the Christ at Martin Luther College. And for the past 2 years, we've been producing concerts here at Bethany Lutheran College in Trinity Chapel as part of our Pro Musica Summer Chamber Music Festival. What's going on is that we've decided to combine the 2 organizations. It shared leadership, it shared a lot of resources, and so now this allows us to be more flexible and more efficient with our resources, and we've combined those and have applied to be a nonprofit organization. And so we're going through that process right now. It's going very well, and we're very excited that we can use this opportunity to bring you more chamber music offerings in the area. And so we'll have more information on our website, promusicamn.com, and you can also follow us on social media on Twitter and Facebook, and we'll have more information for you there. But thank you for coming and seeing our concerts, and we look forward to having you part of our growth process. It's going to be very fun and exciting, so looking forward to seeing you there.
I'm Bethel Balgi, and I'm the Artistic Director of Summit Avenue Music Series and Pro Musica Minnesota. And I'm delighted to tell you all about our upcoming season. So the season's title is Table for Three. We have 3 concerts, we have 3 performers in each concert, and the title of the first concert is The 3 Bs. The program will include pieces by Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms. So I'd like to describe briefly what these concerts are going to be about, with a caveat that the dates that I'm going to tell you are subject to change based on the COVID situation. So at the moment, we had planned to have a concert September 20th. That has been postponed to January 17th. And this program includes the fabulous principal clarinetist from the Minnesota Orchestra, Gabriel Campos Zamora, and the cellist Silver Ainome. And we are, instead of having a concert on the 20th, we are going to, a live performance, I should say, we're going to have a virtual concert that will show. So watch for information about this virtual concert on September 20th. But we're hoping still for a live concert then on January 17th. The next concert will be April 11th, and this will be Prairie, a fabulous cellist from the Pro Arte Quartet, and soprano Catherine Wurster, and the program title is Cello Treasures. The season finale is scheduled for May 2nd, and this will be called Pale Yellow. And you'll see familiar faces. This is Peter McGuire and Richard Belcher and myself. So I look forward to seeing you. Watch for all information, any updates on our website. It's a new website, promusicamn.com. See you soon.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Judy Sellner, and I'm with State Street Theater. And the program that you're watching right now is called Something Artsy. No, it's not called Keep Fixing Your Mask, but that's what happens when we, in these days, I guess with all of us, we're all pretty well adjusting. But this program is called Something Artsy, and we enjoy doing it, and we hope you enjoy following us. Today our guest is Mark Wama. Am I pronouncing that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. And he is with the Mankato Area Youth Symphony Orchestra. And what do you do with the orchestra, Mark?
Well, I'm one of the music directors, and I also do some of the behind-the-scenes work with the on the administrative side of the orchestra. I'm the operations director. In addition to myself, there's David Storlin is our other music director, and he also does some of the executive director work with our organization.
Okay, so you shared, kind of shared duties.
We're sharing duties.
Okay, now when you're playing an instrument, I'm assuming it's a string, what are you playing? All of them?
I play violin is my primary instrument, and then also viola, and I teach.
Okay, now what's the difference between a viola and a violin?
So a violin is the smallest of the string family. It's so it has the highest sounding strings.
Yes.
The viola is the next largest instrument, and both the violin and the viola are played on the shoulder, whereas the lowest 2 instruments, the cello and the bass, are floor instruments. The players sit with the instruments either in front of them, and cellists sit with the instruments between their legs, and they either bassists have to stand, and cellists usually sit, or sometimes bassists will use a stool as well to play.
Yes, I always enjoy watching Carolyn Borgen play. She plays the bass. And, it's twice as big as she is, and
Yeah.
she's dragging that thing around every once in a while.
Yep.
But I think I would love to play that myself. I think that would be fun.
It's fun. That's
That
the
would
one
be-
instrument I don't know very well how to play. Well, cello not as much as well either.
I know
It's fun to
Carolyn,
play.
Carolyn was giving lessons at one point
Yeah,
too, and
she's
she
offered to
just
give me a
might. So if
few.
there's anybody out there in the listening audience, if you're interested, you can give just call State Street Theater, and we can get you in touch with Carolyn. Okay, well, Mark, tell me about the Mankato Area Youth Symphony Orchestra. How long has that been in existence?
Well, the orchestra in its earliest form dates back to the early 60s, 1960s.
Oh my gosh.
It was originally formed, I think, in 1963. There was when they first had a concert season, and then it was officially incorporated in '66.
Okay.
By the original director, Mr. James Berg, and then it operated in that form until about 1974, at which point it was from that point on, between 1974 and '83, it didn't meet in its previous format, and it was kind of more of a summer orchestra for the high school students in the Mankato area to get together and prepare for the next school year. And then in 1983, it was officially reorganized, and we've been in that structure ever since, performing concerts each year since that point.
Well, as I sit here thinking about it, in my mind, the Mankato Area Youth Symphony is the only one in this part of Minnesota, in southern Minnesota, isn't it?
Yes, there are several youth symphonies throughout Minnesota, but in our area, we're the only one. We service about a 10-county area.
Including Brown.
Including Brown. And our students come from all over the region. We've had some students here from New Ulm. In addition to Mankato area, there's St. Peter, Nicollet. We've had some even come from as far away as Glencoe, and also Madelia, kind of in west of Mankato as well. Too.
Okay. And what are the ages of the children?
Our general age is early elementary, so we've had as young as first and second graders, all the way up through senior high, 12th grade.
Okay, through 12.
Yeah.
And then that, of course, makes sense then to have your ensembles.
Yes. Yep.
That I would imagine that's probably why you started doing the ensembles.
Yes. Yeah. So we have 3 different ensembles that meet. Our youngest group is the North Star Strings, and that's our introductory orchestra. Those are for string players who typically have been playing for 1 to 3 years, and are learning their instrument, learning how to read, and we take them into this orchestra and kind of give them an experience learning how to play in an ensemble.
Okay. When they come to you, you know how kids are. I'm a mother of 7, so I can relate to kids. They come to you and they say, well, I'd like to be in your orchestra, but I want to play this instrument. Do they have a choice, or do you on occasion have to say, well, we don't have room, but if you would be willing to play this instrument or this string?
Sometimes, most times when they come to us, they've already picked out their instrument. So they'll have their, like say they've learned violin already. So they'll come on violin, or they've learned cello, they'll come on and play cello.
Okay. Do they have to audition?
Yes, they audition, but it's not an audition to get into the group. It's an audition for myself and my co-director, Dave, to hear the students and then make sure we're fitting them with the appropriate ensemble. And also it's a nice opportunity for us to meet them one-on-one before we jump into our ensembles, because a lot of time when we hit the start of our season, we're rehearsing and we don't have much time to interact one-on-one with the students. We're getting them into their, getting the pieces out to them, and we're trying to jump into the music right away, because we have only about 9 weeks before we do what we usually have about an 8 or 9 week of rehearsals, and then we do our concert the following on the last weekend, which is usually our 9th or 10th week.
Well, those youth then really have to be disciplined, self-disciplined is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they put in a lot of work.
Good for them.
Over the weeks, and we only meet once a week on Sundays, and When they're in rehearsal, or depending on how long it is, their hours length of rehearsals range from an hour to 2 hours, depending on the age of the ensembles. And when they're in there, we're working them for that full time for the most part. And of course, we have a lot of fun with the kids too, and teaching them, working on.
Well,
music.
do they do a lot of traveling? Do you take the orchestra out of Mankato?
Yes, we try to. We we have our typical schedule follows a fall and a spring concert, and for each of those halves of our season, we try and do one concert that's an outreach concert in one of our neighboring communities where we have students traveling from, and then our that's usually on our Sunday, and then our Saturday, and then our Sunday concert is in Mankato, usually at Bethany Lutheran College at the Trinity Chapel.
Yeah, and all of your concerts, I believe, are at Bethany, aren't they?
Yes.
Have you been in New Ulm? I think you have.
Yes, it's been. It's been a couple years since we've been here performing. I think the last time was during our summer orchestra session. We did a performance down in German Park, I think it was.
Right,
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Well, you can come back now because they've got the amphitheater
I know,
in there, so we've
heard
all
about
ready
that,
for
and
you.
we're trying to make plans and scoping out new venues too.
Yeah. How many members are in the orchestra?
Over the course of the season, we'll have anywhere from 50 to 75 students.
Oh my gosh. Oh, holy cow. Are they well behaved?
Yes, yes, they are.
I guess I'm thinking as a parent, do you have parents who have to volunteer to come and supervise, or?
Yes, we have some parent help.
Yes.
But for the most part, when the students come, they kind of know our routine. They show up for rehearsal, they get their instruments out, they go to their seats, they warm up, and then when it's time to start, they're in their seats ready to go, and we can just start our rehearsals for the most part.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's
Oh my gosh. So you do have the ensembles, which is certainly understandable. Do they all get together then and play a number together where it's the full orchestra, where you can put all levels together?
We've done that a few times.
Be hard.
We do like doing that. Yes, we have to find the right piece so that it fits for all the levels. It's challenging for our oldest students and yet accessible to our youngest students.
Right.
But it's always fun to see our youngest kids and our oldest kids come together when we have those moments.
Okay, so then, my question next is, because this is how my mind works, I am seeing this little guy who's just come in. Does he have a mentor then from one of the do the older children then mentor the younger ones as they acclimate to the orchestra?
Yes, we have had we do have a mentor program where some of our older kids from the top orchestra, our youth symphony, have come down to our North Star Strings group, and they help by sitting in the sections and just playing the music with the kids, because a lot of times it's just having a leader in your section playing the part and hearing the music as it's supposed to sound, from written and translating that from what's written on the page and into creating the music. It is a big help. And then also they can give them tips like, oh, he said, do a down bow here. You should write this in your part at that time, and teaching them little rehearsal technique things like that.
If anybody, like I did, I went online to learn more about you. And I guess I would suggest that to any of our viewers.
Yes.
Yeah, go online and you can go to, what's your website?
It's www.maso.net.
Okay, and Maso is spelled?
M-A-Y-S-O.
And that means Mankato Area Youth
Symphony Orchestra. Yep.
All right, do you want to repeat that, please?
Sure, it's www.maYSO.net.
So if anybody who's watching has a child and they say, oh, this would really be nice, my kid would really enjoy this, they can go online and all the information will be there for them.
Yep, it'll be right there. And we are currently in rehearsals right now. We have two small ensembles going. We've had to, because of the COVID pandemic, we've had to alter our typical fall season. So this year we're doing 2 small ensembles, and our students we're meeting with masks. We're meeting at staggered times so we're not overlapping, and we plan to have a concert in November 7th.
Okay.
But if people are interested, we are still planning to have a spring session too, and we'll be posting more information about our spring session when as we know more about how the situation has developed surrounding it.
I think you've got a concert on the 8th also.
Yes, actually we decided to remove the concert on the 8th.
Oh,
We're
okay.
going to just be doing on the 7th.
Just on the 7th. And that's going to be at Bethany?
Actually, we are planning to stream the concert or record it. We're working on which one of those 2 mediums to broadcast it, so that audience can participate from wherever they may be.
That's what did we do 50 years ago?
I know.
Oh my gosh! I mean, and what a great opportunity for these children to know that they can still do that, and people are going to see it. It's as I play flute. I'm a flautist, and I've done a lot of stage. And yes, it is more difficult when there's no faces in that audience.
Yes, it is.
However, you know what? I have always told my cast it only takes one person to be watching you, and they have an audience.
Yes, yeah.
And I have to tell myself that every once in a while when things go wrong, when things happen. So how has the COVID affected the orchestra?
Well, we've because of the size restrictions, we've had
your ensembles.
We have to do smaller ensembles. So we have our groups are less than 10 people, including the directors, myself and Dave.
Okay.
We're masked during our rehearsals, and our kids are we're obviously observing social distancing. So we're placing our students, trying to maintain 6 feet distance between everybody too. And that's how we're trying to address it. It's small groups, and as we get more, if we get more interest, we're always considering opening, creating more ensembles, and again, we can spread out the timing so that everybody is not congregating exactly at the same time, and we're observing all the recommended protocols.
The CDCs.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if I have a child, and of course every child that I have is perfect, and I think, oh, he should be in that, or he or she should be in that orchestra. So I contact you, and what would you tell me I need to do? My child should be how good must those children be before they can come in and play for you?
We generally recommend having taken lessons for at least a year.
Well, that's not long.
Yeah, and having and being able to to read music is also
would be helpful.
a helpful skill to have, because we don't do a whole lot of teaching how to read music in our rehearsals. Students kind of come in.
So the average age of a child that comes in is 6th grade?
Yeah, late elementary to middle school. It would kind of be most common. But we also have high school students who find about it from their friends who've maybe been in for a year or two, always coming in as well. So we always get a mix each year.
Yeah. That's so. And you've been doing this how long?
This is the start of my 6th year, I believe, as a conductor. And I grew up in Mankato and was part of the ensemble when I was in middle school and high school as well. So
So are you a music teacher by trade?
Yes, I went to did my college studies on violin performance, and then I've played regionally in the area since graduating from Gustavus, and now I have a studio and am teaching at local colleges too as an adjunct professor.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking, I don't know how you could make a living just doing with the youth orchestra.
No, yeah.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to, you guys have any concerts coming up? Like we said, November 7th.
November 7th.
At what time?
At 2 p.m.
2 p.m. And it's at?
We're
You're going to stream it.
Yes, we
It's
will
only gonna
be.
streamed.
It'll be either live streamed and or recorded and posted to our Facebook page or possibly through YouTube as well. We might have a link up for
Oh,
that.
sure.
We're still kind of figuring out how to do it too.
That would work really well to use
Yes.
YouTube.
But most of the details for the concert or new details that they develop will be found on our website.
On your website, yeah. Well, I keep thinking about people who don't use social media like some of us
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
That are my age and they don't use it like they
Yes.
we could.
Well, and we also try and do announcements in our local papers before our concerts too. So keep an eye in local newspapers as well.
That's always good.
Yes.
Yeah, radio stations.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I see if I got any more notes here. Oh, I know. Prairie Lakes
Oh yes.
Arts Council. We always have to mention them. Oh, that's
Yes,
such a wonderful
they
group.
are
What would we do without Brenda, right?
I know she's given so much support to us.
Oh my. It's the arts are so important, not only to adults but to children. And you probably know better than I, and maybe you can tell me. What are the statistics about children who are involved in arts once they become adults?
Well, to be honest, I'm not. I can quote them verbatim, but there does seem to be high correlation in helping with all, multiple subjects in as from learning
I think
any
it's
kind of instrument.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a proven fact.
Yeah.
Kids that are in the arts do better. Yeah. Well, and sports too, being a
Yes.
hockey mom here.
Yes.
So I have to mention that. But yeah, the kids, we need to have our children involved in things, and the arts are probably one of the greatest there is. But in all fairness to my two sons who are two that are hockey coaches, I must say that any hockey is good then too.
Yes. Yeah.
So, is there anything that I have missed, Mark, that you would like to share with us?
No, I think we've covered quite a lot about our organization.
Yeah. If anybody wants to know more, again, what is the website?
www.mayso.net.
.net. Okay, it's not org, it's .net.
.net, yes.
That's important that they get that right. That .net is important. That is important. Well, I guess I would just like to thank you so much for coming over. I think
You're
we've got
welcome.
our 15 minutes. Oh, yes, we do. Pretty well filled here. If there's anything else that you would like to add, you've got, like you said, you've got the different ensembles. You've got the chamber ensembles. You've got North Star Strings and Youth Philharmonic. And then you are in partnership, with River Valley Winds. So are the Youth Wind Ensemble part of the orchestra and the River Valley Wind?
Yes, we've had a partnership in the past with them. For students who are interested in playing in a wind ensemble, we would send their recommendation over to the River Valley Wind Ensemble, and they would kind of foster them.
Okay, so they are separate entities.
They are separate, yes. They are
Okay,
separate
so
organization.
they are separate entities. Okay, all right. Again, I guess I would recommend to anybody who's watching, use your computer. Go out, and you don't even have to go right to their website. All you have to do is Google Mankato Area Youth Symphony Orchestra.
Yep.
It will come right up and you will have that option. It works beautifully. It's so easy to
Yes,
do.
it is.
And if you don't have a computer at home and you want to try it, you can go down to the local library. They have computers down there. And we're in the library here right now.
Yeah.
But you can use their computers, and you would have access to all of that. Well, Mark, I thank you so much
thank you so much
coming
for
over.
having me.
We really appreciate you doing this.
You're quite welcome.
All right. And thank you for tuning in. Hi, I'm Judy Selner. I'm with State Street Theater. And the program that you're watching right now is called Something Artsy. Yep, and it's exactly what it is, something artsy. We invite guests to come in to tell us about the events that are going on with their organizations or their art group. Or we will invite schools in to talk about any artwork that might be in the process. And It's very open. So as a matter of fact, as long as I'm talking about that briefly, if you, the listening audience, have something in mind that you think would be really good on this show, we would encourage you to call Carolyn, who is our, what is your title?
Senior Administrator.
Senior Administrator, not junior, but the Senior Administrator. And she could get you lined up to be on this show and would be happy to work with you. And the State Street Theater number is 359-9990. And if she doesn't answer the phone right away, leave a message and she definitely will get back to you.
Absolutely.
Okay. And if you would rather use social media,
Facebook, State Street New Ulm, or our website at statestreetnewulm.org. Just remember, we're on State Street, and we live in New Ulm.
Right. And some days she's maybe in the office. You know, she can stop over and see what's going on. We are always looking for volunteers too, so you know, lots and lots of things to do. Well, what we want to talk about right now is the New Ulm Area Chamber of Commerce. Michael Luft is the executive director and was not able to be here today, so Carolyn and I are going to try to fill in for him. Now, he's got awfully big shoes to fill.
He does.
I don't know if we can fill them.
He's out there putting those Herman the German statues probably up around town.
Yeah, that could be getting ready for our Oktoberfest.
Yes.
Yeah, he could be doing that. So he wasn't able to make it today. So we're going to talk about a few things that are going on in New Ulm, which is, of course, our favorite community.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's the best community for, and especially raising a family.
Yeah. Well, we're taping this September 26th, and so by the time you see this, Oktoberfest will have been over. And there's not a whole lot that's going on at the chamber or anywhere, any retail for that matter also, simply because of the COVID-19. And we do have to be careful. And the chamber will, of course, not encourage anything that is going to put anybody at risk for COVID-19. So all activities are pretty much on hold or on the table for the board to decide whether or not they will be able to proceed with them. If you have any questions regarding anything that you're concerned about at this point, you are more than welcome to call the chamber office or to email them, and they're in the phone book. And it's easy to find, or you could even stop in the office down there. That staff is just wonderful. You can walk in there and they've got all the answers.
Yeah, oh, they do. And they've been so creative during COVID. Just so happy to live in a community where you see the chamber working so hard for the larger community. So like we said, Oktoberfest is now past, but they did a great job of, okay, we can't have the music and the large crowds, but what we can do is offer an artisan fair, and it's called Makerspace, right? And they, and be able to bring in that kind of group to New Ulm outdoors and offer something new and unique.
Right.
And I hope that becomes a part of Oktoberfest in the future.
Yeah. Now with the Makerspace, I think that's going to be the 3rd?
Yes, October 3rd.
Yeah, so we're past it. But the point I want to make for you guys watching is if you went to that and if you liked it, please let the chamber know. They want to hear that. They want to know that the community like it. They want to make sure that it's just a great experience. And something I noticed the other day when I was walking downtown was there were a lot of people downtown.
Yes.
And I didn't know any of them. So again, New Ulm is a great tourist capital. I mean, people are leaving their towns and going to other towns, and they're just walking around. And I see that's what's happening here in New Ulm.
I was, funny enough, I was down at the chamber today picking out tickets for a show that's happening this weekend. And sure enough, I was like, rushing in, right? Because that's what Carolyn does. And as I was coming in, there's people who are like, oh, the chamber is open. And they came in behind me, and they were tourists wanting to explore our town. So the chamber doors are open. Their pamphlets are there for you. And they are still directing visitors to all the great places that we have in our town.
Yeah, and there are. So All right, do you want to mention the Halloween hop?
Yes, I'm so excited. So
Yeah.
the Chamber is looking for a safe way for kids to experience Halloween. So area Chamber businesses are going to be participating in a Halloween hop where kids can dress up, go downtown trick-or-treating on October 31st, which this year is a Saturday. And I'm also told it's the second full moon of the month, so, you know, right?
Oh, yes.
Right? So this is a great way to, if there are concerns for you with Halloween and COVID, this could be a safe way to then experience Halloween and get extra candy if you're not concerned.
Oh, I'm going.
Oh, I love Halloween. My husband always has a costume and it always coordinates with my daughters. And it blows my mind every year what they come up with.
I'm usually the witch.
Yes.
I wear my witch's costume
I
and
wear
I greet.
Cruella de Vil every year.
Yes, yes. I greet them at the front door, you know, and they have to. Then they get their treat.
We have a dog that likes to bark, so then I dress up in Cruella de Vil, and then you hear the dog losing its mind in the background. So I find it's kind of like that tongue-in-cheek humor to the parents. And now the kids are just very scared because they just see the hair.
Yeah. Now, I have a question that I have because I'm looking at my notes here. The Halloween hop, is that just on Halloween Day?
That's what I'm assuming.
Okay.
Halloween Day, 31st.
We need to, okay, well, we'll need to clarify
We'll
that.
clarify with the Chamber, and then we'll put something out there on State Street Theater's Facebook, too, to give it a little promote.
Yeah.
Because I know State Street Theater has something happening that same in the evening.
Evening, yes.
And so it's good, you know, cross-platform. But
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just excited. And it goes from what? He said 10 o'clock to 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.?
No, I think it's 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Oh, that's a
think it's
lot of
2 or
trick-or-treating
3.
time.
Again, you know, you can go to you can just, their website is www.newulm.com. Or you can call them at 233-4300. And, you know, that's their job down there.
Yeah.
I know they had all these vendors a couple of weeks ago on the 3rd. They were expecting over 50 vendors to
Yes.
come in.
Which is great for our community.
Right.
Well, and another
Right.
thing is, and I will say one of my favorite things that happens in New Ulm is the Parade of Lights. And we used to live right downtown. And we could like look out the windows and be all warm and comfy and watch the Parade of Lights. And in recent years, we've been in the Parade of Lights for the figure skating club. And you know, cold, every time we're in it, it's wet and cold and we're freezing, but that's the fun of it. And so this year, it's up in the air. They have a request out to the city to see if they can still hold the parade, but they're working through exactly what it's going to look like because of COVID.
Right.
But know that they are working hard and they are trying to make the Parade of Lights happen this year.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And again, everything has to be done according to CDC rules. And the city council has not approved it at this point. I think
Right.
I believe it's on the agenda.
Right. And so,
So-
right as we speak right now, you're at home. You're probably like, oh, they approved it or they didn't.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say that? Well, because this taping is happening before it's on the agenda.
Right.
Before they've talked about it.
And of course, everything has to be, I mean, we have to look at the COVID. We have to make sure that we don't have any type of a pandemic right here in town.
Right, we've been very lucky in
yes,
New
we
Ulm,
have.
and our community has done a fantastic job, as well as our healthcare workers. Just so proud that, you know,
Right.
the dedication, and so I know that's why everyone's just trying to be really diligent to make sure that we don't have a big flare-up.
Yeah, yeah. We need to be careful there. We had Oktoberfest, what we could do.
Well, I'd like to mention something about the chamber. They have this vendor, and I'm going to say it wrong because I'm Auslander, so I apologize.
You are not an Auslander.
I've been here 11 years. I think it's 30 before they welcome me in.
That is not true. I think I'm going to have to write a letter to the editor about
Uh-oh, I'm in
that.
trouble now. She's going to reference me in the paper. Vendor welcome committee, right? So the welcome committee.
Willkommen.
See, I knew I was going to say it wrong. See, I told you. And so if you want to get involved in the community with the chamber, this is a great committee. What they do is, and again, with COVID it's a little different, but they welcome people who are new to the community and what they would have like a meet and greet where you would win prizes and stuff.
Yep.
And I know that they're probably looking for ideas on how to do that differently now with COVID. But they have a committee, they meet once a month. This group is essential when we bring in new people, when we're bringing in the doctors, right, that are helping our community. And, you know, the people are working down at 3M and Craft and all of our businesses. When we're recruiting people to come and bring your business to our downtown, buy a space, rent a space.
Right.
This is the committee that's going out and making those connections to make them feel welcome. So if you're looking for a way to get involved volunteering, this is a great committee.
Oh, yes, yeah. And all you have to do is come into the chamber office and say, I'd like to volunteer, and they can tell you, they've got tons of lists of places, of things that you can do. I mean, just being a greeter, just being a greeter, so that when a couple comes in from the metro area, whatever, and they thought they've always heard about New Ulm, but they've never been here, and being a tour guide. Oh my gosh, you know, we have to have more tour guides than just Terry Sweeney.
I love Terry though.
And George has gone, so
Right.
we don't
I
have
know.
George anymore, so someone's got to fill those shoes too.
He was one of the first people to greet us when we moved to town.
I'm
And his
sure.
lederhosen nonetheless, you know?
Yes.
I mean,
That's right.
yes, George just was an institution for this
Yes,
town.
he was.
Much appreciated. And so we're looking for people to fill those big shoes too for the chamber.
Yeah, so I'm sure if you come in, Jenny, whomever, will
Yes.
greet you, and you can say, well, this is what I'd like to do. And like I said, probably one of the easiest things is just, you don't have to be a tour guide. I was a tour guide. I probably could still do it because I love New Ulm. You know, it's just a great community, and some of the great stories, oh my gosh, that are in New Ulm that I'm assuming are true. My mother said they were true.
Well, then it has to be
Then
true.
It has to be true. Are wonderful, and of course that's what people like to hear. Visitors like to hear stories like that. And even if you would have an interesting story about New Ulm, maybe from 50, 75, or 100 years ago, something that's been handed down in your family, maybe you would even like to share that with the office.
Absolutely.
So they can give it to the tour guides to share, because that's what the out-of-town people want. They want those local stories, and they like local color. They want local color.
Oh, we have great color now.
Yes, we do.
The trees look gorgeous right now.
Yes, yes. I think they were referring to people, though.
I know, right? I'm part of that local color as well, if you're wondering.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, if just keep your eye out on the chamber calendar. And what I always do is, I confess, I don't have it bookmarked. I go to Google and I literally type in New Ulm Chamber Calendar, and then the thing pops up, and right there you have all of the events that are happening in New Ulm from the chamber members, but also things specific to them. So you'll be able to find out what's happening with Parade of Lights, the Halloween Hop, and of course this Welcome Committee.
Right. So I did do that. I did go to the website for the chamber, and I did print some things out. And it's amazing what they have out there. Everything, of course, right now has been, at Morgan Creek Vineyards, for example, has been canceled. That's been canceled. And that's too bad, because I really, really always enjoyed the Great Stomp.
Yes.
It was so much fun to watch that. We've been out there for it, and it was so much fun to watch that. But maybe they'll come up with something in spring
Yes.
at another date.
I think we're all just holding out hope for spring, that things are going to change and we're going to see some light at the end of the tunnel.
Right, right. And Shell's Brewery, well, that's already at capacity, for different things there. Again, for anything, you need to call. You need to call before you want to do anything. My guess is that they still are doing tours out at the brewery, but they get full too.
Right. So
And
always call ahead, because
call
of
ahead.
contact tracing. They want to be able to get your contact name and your phone number, just as required by the CDC.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. I know all the events that they had listed for Oktoberfest were full already. It's
I bet.
amazing.
That's full, before COVID.
Yeah,
That's a 2 years in advance,
right.
so room rental. So yeah.
Yeah. So the chamber is doing its best
Yeah, I think they're doing great, and
They're
we're
under
very
the
lucky
conditions.
to have the
Yes.
workers that we do there, the team, who's working on behalf of, our community.
Right, exactly. There's on the steps, okay. So things that are coming up, like Carolyn said, the biggest event coming up, of course, would probably be the light parade. And again, we have to wait and see what the chamber did.
Fingers
or not
crossed, everyone.
The
Right.
council. Right, the city council has to approve that. They're the only ones that give a permit. You have to actually go through the city council to get a permit to be in the parade. Because we've done that, and so we know that is what is necessary. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it with the chamber, unless you can think of something.
That's it. I just, like to thank the chamber
Yeah.
for all their hard work and
Oh,
their
yeah.
creativity for our community.
They are.
And just, make sure to check them out and see if there's some way you can help them out volunteering.
Exactly. All right, until the next time, this is Carolyn Borgen.
And Judy Selner.
Thank you. Welcome to Something Artsy. I'm Judy Selner, and I'm with State Street Theater. And really excited today to talk with Jonathan Marquardt, who is from Martin Luther College, better known here in New Ulm as MLC. I don't know if anybody ever says Martin Luther.
I don't.
No. So, Jonathan, what are you guys going to be doing up at the college?
Well, we're putting on, the show is called Monty Python's Spamalot, with the subtitle of A Socially Distant Concert-ish Version.
So funny.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful.
Right.
Yeah, so it's over the summer, then Theater Rights Worldwide, they took a look at some of their scripts to revise them just with all the COVID regulations and to see if they could fix things and make it easier for us to still put on a show. And luckily enough, we were able to find it, and it's a bit shortened. It's shortened to 90 minutes so that there's no intermission, don't have to worry about any intermingling during that time.
Right.
Helps with some exits so everybody's not just walking right past each other and stuff like that. Very considerate, and just took a lot of the work out of what we would have to do if we just picked some other show.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're
That's right.
we're thankful for that.
By any chance, do you know the publishing company? Do you know?
Theater Rights Worldwide.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
I was blown away that
Although
they would do this.
Yeah. Although then you lose the revenue from your food stand, from your bar or whatever you might have
Right.
at intermission.
Yep,
But
that's
that's okay. There's a lot of people who say, oh, they would just do the whole play, because sometimes when you have intermission, what happens? It's so long, it's 20 minutes
Right.
for sure. And by the time you get back to your seat and you start, and you have to think back, okay, now where did we leave off here?
Right.
And if the
yep,
play isn't
forgot
written
all
very
that.
well, sometimes it's pretty difficult to get
yeah.
everything back where it belongs.
Yeah.
Well, Jonathan, this sounds really exciting. I didn't realize that the publishing company came up with the socially distant concert-ish version.
Right. Yeah. Not
thought-
our doing.
Yeah, I thought you guys up at the college had come up with that, and I was
We
going to give
wish.
you credit for that.
Well, I would still take some, but
Well,
it
okay.
wouldn't be deserved.
All right, you take the credit. Well, tell me about Spamalot.
Yeah, so its original musical of Spamalot was written decades ago as they put it, lovingly ripped off from Monty Python's and the Holy Grail. Classic movie, of course. And it's just a tale about King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table going on a quest for the Holy Grail with some crazy antics along the way, of course. We have flying cows and French people with outrageous accents, all sorts of just fun British things.
Yes, yes, it's British humor.
Yes.
It's very dry.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good, it's good. As a matter of fact, my husband was watching it just the other day. It was on
yeah.
TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
Local cable.
Huh.
I didn't sit down and watch it, but I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
I am familiar with it. Are you going to be in it?
I am the assistant director, actually.
Oh, hey, we got the big stuff here today.
Well, only assistant director, so not quite. Really, all I do is do whatever the director tells me to do. Anything she needs me for, I can fill in pretty much.
Have you directed before?
I have directed a one-act play, a really short one, only about 40 minutes long, just as kind of an introduction into the production side of shows. And that was a great experience, and so I'm glad to be able to kind of continue that with adding in the musical aspect of it all too.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame when you have
For
to
sure.
put orchestra in there.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you guys always have a really good orchestra.
Yeah, although this year we don't have the biggest space for them, and so it would be kind of hard to have them all crammed in there and spaced out still. And so what the revised version allows for is just a piano and drums, which is what we'll be taking advantage of.
That's all you need.
Right.
The drum, yeah. I mean, the piano is good, of course, but you get the drum in there. That's for that rhythm.
Add some
that
depth
beat.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing it now. Where are you going to do the play? You're going to do it in the theater, right?
Right, in the auditorium, on campus. Yeah. Unfortunately, our campus is currently closed to any visitors, and so really all the in-person seating that we have is available for students and faculty and staff. But we thought a lot and worked really hard at finding some way that we can still bring it to other people, community, and beyond. And so we worked out a way that we can live stream it, or we're actually allowed to live stream it through BookTix Live. And that way people are able to reserve the tickets online, and when the time comes, then they can, they're sent a link, and they click on the link, and there it is, and they can watch from the comfort of their home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me that website again.
BookTix, BookTix, live. But you can find a link to that through our website.
Oh, you can go to just go.
Yeah,
so all people would have to do is go to MLC.
MLC-wells.net/forum.
Okay, but because people aren't going to remember that. You know, my thought is, being a great grandma already, I'll just Google it.
Sure. Yep.
You know,
totally
and
works.
that's what I would do. Just Google MLC Theater.
Yeah. Yeah, that would get you there.
And then it'll get you there. That'll get you there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If not, you call Jonathan up at the college.
Yep. Yeah. If you have to.
No.
And those tickets will be available to be reserved starting Monday, October 5th.
Okay.
That's when they'll show up on that page.
Well, this won't be aired until starting October 10th, I believe, is the date.
Well,
so
get them now.
Yeah. Beat the rush.
Yeah.
Beat the rush. And how many shows are you doing?
We're doing 3, October 23rd through 25th. So Friday and Saturday, that's 7:30 p.m. and on Sunday, 2 p.m.
Okay. Doing typical theater times.
Right, of course. Keeping it simple there.
Yeah, that's okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And so what are you doing to ensure that everything is done according to CDC guidelines for as far as COVID?
Well, our college has been very strict and responsible so far, and good at keeping us all in line, giving us reminders whenever needed to, spots where to stand in line for the cafeteria, stuff like that. And so really we can just adapt those same concepts and bring it into the auditorium. So keeping things spaced out as much as possible, masks on at all times, all of that sort of thing.
All right. So what I'm hearing you say that you will not, the public will not be able to sit in the auditorium.
Correct.
I just want to make sure that everybody understands that. But the cast is doing it responsibly.
Right.
That's good. That's great. That's great. So I see you've got a lot of other things coming up that really sound like they would really be fun. And I saw Jack and the Beanstalk somewhere. Yeah.
Yep.
Here.
That is, if all goes well, our children's theater in the spring.
Yeah, you always do well with that. That's my favorite. The children's theater, it's always good.
For
Well, your
sure.
musicals, your November musicals are always good too. Being with State Street Theater and having been New Ulm Actors Theater, when we started this, I always had to double check and make sure we didn't have the same weekend to do our plays, because this is the time of year when we want to do plays, because it works out. It's easy to get a cast. It's before Christmas. It's in between things. And there's no snow that we have to worry about, we hope, and ice and so on down the line, and it works out really well. So I'm sure your directors and professors up there too are always a little concerned because public will probably be doing theirs if they're doing one. I don't know if they are or not. We have things coming up that we're doing as far, State Street Theater.
Yeah.
And we don't want to compete with each other.
No, not
But
at
you
all.
know what? New Ulm is such a great community. We always sold out. You guys sold out, and we did too. And we all made, made money.
Yeah.
From our point of view, State Street Theater, we need to make the money because we have to keep this place going.
That's true.
Yeah, but I mean, it always worked out.
Yeah.
It always did. I think wouldn't it be fun if we could do some kind of a community, maybe a short play or something, where we would have you guys from MLC and State Street Theater. So, that would just be cool.
It would be really cool. Yeah, at some point in the future to have that collaboration. I would love that personally.
Yeah, it could just, it could be I'm thinking a radio format, stage play with guitar, which is coming up. We're doing one this weekend? No, next weekend. I'm not even sure. I'd have to look at the calendar, folks. So, okay, so how big a cast do you have?
We have,
for Spamalot?
Yeah, we have 20 members total, 8 primary roles, and then in true Monty Python fashion, the other 12 plays all the rest of the roles in the show. So, yeah.
Are you going to have real goats?
No.
Oh.
No. They don't follow social distancing guidelines very well, so too much of a hassle.
That's good comeback. I like that.
Thank you.
That's really good. That's really good. And did I ask you what part you're playing? I think I did. Are you in the play?
No, I am the assistant director.
Oh, you're the assistant. That's what it is.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. This is my third, fourth interview right now, so it's
totally
they kind of all mushed together.
Sometimes I forget too. I'm like, what am I doing here again?
Yeah. Right. So. Yeah. So, and the dates again?
Yeah, October 23rd through 25th.
Right, yeah. Is there anything that you think you need to add? I see there's a note on here that there's not going to be a one-act play this year because of the change in the calendar.
Right, yeah, so the school year calendar as it is right now is once we go off to back homes or wherever for Thanksgiving break, then the last couple of weeks of the school year will be done online, and then finish it off that way. And so that totally cuts out any time that the one-act plays would be held.
To do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I see then you've got a production in February, and again we'll probably have somebody back to interview them on that too.
Yeah.
But that's called the Westing Game.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that?
I know it's a mystery.
Mystery, yeah.
Famous novel from what I've heard. I think it'll be interesting. It's been a while since there's been a serious play done at MLC. The past few years, it seems like we've done comedies on some level at least, and so I think this will be cool.
Most people, including myself, prefer a comedy.
Naturally.
That's when you go to the theater just to get away from everything.
Of course, yeah.
And there's probably 10% of the population who might prefer a drama.
That's true.
But I still like to laugh.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I like to laugh. But I thought when I read this, it sounds like it's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be interesting. So have you been in any plays before? Have you this is the first time?
Yeah.
You said you directed a short play.
Yeah, one act. My freshman year. This is my junior year now.
Okay.
I've been in the last 2 musicals since I've been here, and then the last 2 winter plays as well. So definitely enjoyed being able to participate in the forum that we have, and also I'm enjoying being able to participate on the other aspect in the production side of things.
Yeah. Okay. Which do you like better?
Well, each has their own unique benefits, of course. It's hard to say. They're so unique. It's so fun to be able to develop your own character while you're up on stage and find those little nuances of your lines that nobody else would notice except for you, but you just want to develop it all yourself. And that's so much fun to bring that to life. But then on the other side of it, to help the other cast members from the outside to develop their characters in the same way is also just so rewarding, and to see that growth and development that they have is.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've told people it's like sewing a quilt, where you get this big piece of fabric, right? And then you take it and you cut it up into all these little pieces, and then you start putting it together as a director.
Yeah.
And you could just see the cast. I mean, it's just so much fun to see that cast, like you say, develop their personality, develop their characters, and to give them that freedom. Right. I actually took some of my cast members one time and sat them down right away in the beginning, and told them who they were. And I said, now tell me about yourself. So that they could better get into, to figure out how they're going to play that character. And it was really fun to do.
Yeah.
It was fun to do. Well, what else is new up at the college?
Well, we have some homecoming activities that are coming up, various socially distanced games and sports. The sports teams are doing what they can to have scrimmages during this time and stay active, even if they can't do collegiate games and tournaments and all those sorts of things. So definitely trying to fill in the obvious gap in what would be such a busy time of the year with whatever we can put together. And I think that it'll end up with a lot of distinct memories.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just I keep telling my kids and grandchildren, oh, someday you're going to be telling your children and grandchildren how you had to wear these stupid masks. You know, and we're both pulling on ours here.
Yep.
And it's interesting, you know, too. But yeah, and I've been telling our kids also, and you maybe would like to do something like this. Every night before you go to bed, you should keep a journal. And what happened that day and how the COVID was affecting your life.
Yeah.
And the good and the bad and the funny, because we've had some funny things happen too with this whole thing. So, but it'd be something great to hand down to your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, or they might find it in your house someday and say, oh, look at this. Grandpa did this.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea.
Yeah. So, anything else? Now, the play again, the dates are the 10th, October 23rd, 24th, and 25th. 7:30 Friday and Saturday, and 2 o'clock
on Sunday.
On the 25th, Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
Parking is okay yet, because it's not winter yet. The wind isn't blowing, so we still have to park in the parking lot.
Yep.
Because it fills up really fast. I know that.
Yeah, I mean.
And what are the ticket prices?
Well, just so that we don't have to worry about if there are technical difficulties online and people are for some reason aren't able to live stream the show and that messes things up, then
that's right, I forgot about that.
they are, the tickets are free. All you have to do is reserve the tickets through our website. You do have to reserve it, and then when the time comes, then you'll be sent that link, secure individual link, and you can watch it for free.
Oh, well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we're thankful for this unique opportunity, if nothing else.
Right, because I'm sure you have to pay royalties and all this other good stuff that goes along with doing somebody's play.
Yeah.
Would you take donations of anybody or sponsors?
I'm not sure if the rights that we have set up allow for donations of any kind. I'm not sure where we are in that place.
Well, that would be your producers.
Right, not the assistant director.
Right,
no.
not the assistant, not the AD. No,
Nope.
not the AD. Yeah.
No.
Well, thank you so much, Jonathan,
Yeah,
for
of
coming
course.
down.
Thank you for having me so much.
I'm happy to. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet
I
you
look
as
forward to meeting you again.
Yeah, hopefully you can tune in online.
Yeah, I probably will.
Good.
I probably will.
All right.
Okay. Well, on behalf of State Street Theater, I'd like to thank Jonathan for coming down, and I also would like to thank the Prairie Lakes Arts Council. They are so wonderful with grants for our arts projects here in southern Minnesota. And there's a lot of artsy things that we do that we could not do if it were not for Prairie Lakes. So we really appreciate them. All right, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you the next time. Well, hello. I'm Judy Sellner. I'm with State Street Theater, and we are so happy to be here today with Leroy.
Yep.
Leroy, I don't have your last name.
It's long. It's Nosker Tanner. It's 2 words.
Oh, we'll just call you Leroy.
That's just fine with me.
All right, we're doing something artsy. And so Leroy is down here today. He's going to tell us what's going on with the library.
Sure.
And I went online, of course, and I've got the October calendar.
There have been things added to it since you looked.
I was going to say, I'll bet there have been things. But actually, I was surprised that there was this much on here.
We're trying to do as much as we can for our patrons, both at the library as well as online, to be able to provide the services that our patrons enjoy and that they expect with all the current accommodations that we have to make. So. We are open right now Monday through Saturday, and Monday through Thursday from 9:30 in the morning till 7 in the evening. So not quite as late in the evening, but we have noticed that we don't have a lot of people coming in the evening right now, and so it's been pretty quiet. And then Friday and Saturday from 9:30 to 5.
Okay, those are usual times.
Yeah, those are usual. We are still offering contactless pickup for patrons as well.
Okay, well that's good.
If you're a parent with a bunch of kids and you don't feel like wrangling them all inside, you can do contactless pickup, and we will get them checked out on your card and set them out for you to just grab and go. Or if you're in one of those high risk categories and you don't feel comfortable coming into the library, then we can prep that for you.
Right, yeah, because I know I returned a book and it was really easy. It's just nice, just put it on the cart.
Yep.
And just do what the sign says.
Yes, we have a lot of signs posted, so please read them.
Yeah,
they are there to provide information.
Yeah, and it works like a charm. I mean, talking about a book, one of the questions that I have for you, and I don't know if you have the answer, what is the most read book other than the Bible?
Oh, the most read book other than the Bible? Well, that depends on what language you're looking at.
Okay, well, let's say English.
English, other than the Bible, there's some strong contenders there. You have Shakespeare's works would probably be up there if you did them collectively. If you're talking about published works in the last century and a half, Agatha Christie is a strong contender, of course. James Patterson is up there right now. He has a whole bunch of those. So those are some pretty strong contenders.
Okay.
So.
All right. Clancy, maybe?
Tom Clancy, Robert Ludlum, those early espionage and international military thrillers, they're still going strong. And of course, with Tom Clancy and Robert Ludlum, actually, their estates have empowered authors right now to continue those series, and so we have other authors that have taken them up
and finish the books, though, just to finish.
No, to continue.
Oh, really?
Yes, and so that can vary quite a bit. So, for example, the fantasy author Robert Jordan, when he passed away, he knew he was dying, and his estate planned by his wife was specifically just to finish the series that he was doing.
Okay.
But other times, authors are empowered to keep it going as long as people enjoy reading them. So.
Yeah. Oh, so Ryan will be around forever.
Quite possibly.
That's from Tom Clancy's books. Okay, well, I've got. Let's start with you.
Sure, I've got a great list of things.
How long have you been down here at the
okay, sure. So I am, as of this moment, the new guy on staff. I've been here a little over 6 months. I started work on March 2nd, and so that was just about 2 weeks before COVID really started to cause disruptions to things. And so it's been a very interesting transition for me and my family, but really enjoy it. Wonderful people to work with. It's a great library. So.
Yes, and where did you come from?
I grew up here in the Midwest, but for the past 6 years we've been down in Arizona.
Where in Arizona?
Northeastern Arizona, in a little town called St. John's. It's the county seat of Apache County up there, and so it's the high desert, so you don't have big cactuses and lots of sand. There's mountains and things, but it's still very dry, and in the summer it does get very hot.
It does get hot, yes.
So.
Yes. What made you decide to come to Minnesota?
Coming back to be closer to family.
Okay.
So my wife's parents are just over in St. Peter, and so they are very excited to be near grandbabies. so,
Grandchildren. They
yeah.
don't care about you guys. They
Not
just want those
we're-
grandbabies.
Yeah, we're secondary. So
Exactly. Oh, okay. And how many children do you have?
we have 4.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yep, and they're getting into school age and in elementary school.
Oh,
so
okay. All right.
Still growing.
Oh, the fun is just coming.
Oh yes, it's an adventure every day.
Yeah, right. It is an event. It is. Yeah, we had 7.
Oh,
So
great.
yeah, it is an adventure. Okay. I see you brought
Sure.
some
Yep.
notes
I brought some
along.
notes for me because there's a lot to talk about.
Okay.
So we are currently trying to have virtual story times for
That's one of
our
my
patrons,
questions.
and we are trying to release those every Monday and Wednesday morning, and they're available. We post them on directly into our Facebook feed, but then they're also available on our YouTube channel. That's one of the things that I've done as the Technology Services Librarian is I created a YouTube channel for the library and put in story times as well as some how-to technology things for some of our digital resources that the library has, so people can go on there and learn how to use them
Good idea.
for themselves, as well as we're starting to get more programming, and I'll talk about that a bit later. We also are doing a virtual Lego challenge for the kids. Our wonderful library aide up in children's, Amy, puts that together, and that's on the 3rd Thursday of each month is when we release that. Catherine, our youth services librarian, has also started a Teen Talks book club. So it's a virtual book club, and they meet on the 2nd Thursday of each month at 4:30, and it's done through Google Hangouts. But you do have to register ahead of time, and you can connect to that through our events page on the library website, so they can do that. And they've had some pretty good discussions with the teenagers with that. Yeah. So we are going to have our annual pumpkin bling contest. This year is going to be a take-home edition. It's going to be on Tuesday, October 27th, and Wednesday, the 28th, from 3 to 5. So we'll have a pumpkin patch available to pick up a pumpkin, one per family to decorate. And the decoration package will be included with that as long as we have supplies to do so.
Yeah.
So for those 2 days. And then we're hoping to have families share with us pictures of their pumpkins and whatnot. And so
Great
that'll be fun.
idea.
We're also going to be having a Halloween slime virtual tutorial on Monday the 26th. Slime is so much fun. There's so many different kinds now. It's become a really big thing on Instagram and whatnot. And so they're going to walk through the process of making 2 different kinds of slime, eyeball slime and edible slime. So if
So you're not going to use the shaving lotion for
no, not for that one, no. But if you register for the event, then you get a jar and an eyeball and a set of instructions on how to put it together, and then all the other ingredients you'll have to purchase. But then the virtual tutorial, they'll walk you through it so you can make it with them. And then the last thing we have in children's programming is Thanksgiving centerpiece craft tutorial. It's going to be available to watch on Monday, November 23rd, where you can make a pumpkin or a turkey centerpiece. And all the materials and instructions will be available to pick up from the children's room 1 week before the tutorial. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah,
We also have, we've got weekly take and make activities for kids that come up to the children's room. And if you haven't seen our repainted children's room, it looks great. It's this nice light blue color. It just lightens up the room. It's really, really nice.
Okay.
We also have new carpet on the main floor by the circulation desk.
Okay.
But there are also, the scavenger hunt is available in the children's room again. And
Okay.
so
done
if they come up and grab things, then the kids can go around and do the scavenger hunt as well. Let's see. And they change that out about once a month, the scavenger hunt, at this point in time.
Okay.
So,
Right.
adult programming, we've got a number of things going on. 2 of our book clubs we were able to continue meeting virtually over the summer. Some success and some definite technological hiccups with that, trying to get that organized. But our mystery book club and history book club went virtual through the summer. And we actually, next Monday actually is our first in-person meeting again for the mystery book club. We're going to be meeting in North German Park to discuss Delia Owen's debut novel, Where the Crawdads Sing. Oh. So we're going to be looking at that. And then our history book club is going to meet at the regular time, also in North German Park in October. I believe that's on the The 20th, yes. And they're going to be talking about Dee Brown's book, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. We're still wondering what we're going to do once weather gets a lot colder, because outdoor venues won't work so well at that point.
That's right.
Our backup plans at this point, per recommendation, is virtual. But we'll see how things go along.
Yep. Yep. Nobody knows what the future holds. So.
Nope. Yeah. We do have our memory lab up and functioning. And so that was a big task that our director gave me, which has been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot, really enjoy it. So a couple of years ago, the library received a grant through the Institute for Museum and Library Sciences in partnership with the Washington, D.C. Library for us to receive equipment and training that will allow us to help people digitize their old media. And so if you have phonographs, cassette tapes, Betamax tapes, VHS tapes, camcorder tapes. We can take those. We have the equipment that connects them to a computer, and we have the software that allows us to turn those into digital files that you can then store on a flash drive or an external hard drive and share it with people. And so,
is there a charge?
No, it's available for free.
Hey, folks, it's free.
It's free, yep. You do need to make appointments, though. There's a couple things to say about that. Is your first appointment is always a 1-hour training session with me, where I walk you through the equipment, help you practice the process that you're going to be doing for your project, and then you'll actually have a little bit of time to get started or practice on your own if you like. And then after that, you can make an appointment that lasts up to 3 hours. And the reason for that is that when we transfer media to a digital format, it happens in real time. So it's not like you can just put it in and zoom, it's done. If you bring in a 2-hour whole movie, it takes 2 hours just to transfer it. There are other steps to the process. And so you want to make sure you get those appointments. And it's available for appointments Monday through Friday. First appointment is 10 in the morning. And then we have appointments, the last appointment is available at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
So if I come in and I do this, I have to stay here with it while it's running, correct?
Yep. Yeah, you don't want to wander away just for liability purposes and for your own things. So, yep. But we've had a number of people use it, and they have enjoyed using it. Definitely have people with different levels of comfort with technology. But you can call the library to make an appointment. You can also use our online reservation form. If you go onto our website and then click on our digital resources, there's a logo of the Memory Lab tree. And if you click on the tree, it'll take you to the reservation form to fill out. So.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
That sounds really interesting.
It has been. People have brought in a variety of different projects for a variety of different reasons. And so it's been really neat especially to see people get excited about being able to preserve those memories and being able to share them. So that's been really good. We have a couple other things going on. In October, on the 22nd, Thursday at 6:30 p.m., we're going to have Minnesota author Christopher Schmitz is going to be doing an author talk about his new book, 50 Shades of Worf. We're going to be holding that at Red Dragon Gaming downtown on Minnesota Street.
Okay.
And so you'll see flyers for that going up pretty soon here.
Well, and I'm assuming you'll have all this on your calendar.
Oh, yes. Yep. It's already on the events calendar as of today.
Okay.
So, yep, we confirmed details on that today. And so he's going to be there to talk about his new book. It's a finalist in the adult fiction category for the Minnesota Author Project this year. And so we're looking forward to that. And since the book is about two cops that go undercover at a Comic-Con to try to prevent a murder, we thought it would be fun to partner with the gaming shop for that. And so we're looking forward to it. It should be fun.
That'd be fun.
And then earlier this summer, last month actually, we had our first virtual baking-related competition. We had a cupcake decorating competition where we partnered with Sweet Mabel's Cupcakes, and we were able to put together a virtual competition where they had to try to copy cupcake decorations. And we had a number of families participate, and they all had a lot of fun, enjoyed their prizes too.
They got to eat the cupcakes?
Well, their own cupcakes, yes, because it was virtual. So we didn't get to eat their cupcakes. Taste was unfortunately not one of the judging criteria. But we got to eat the model cupcakes, which were great. This time we're going to be doing a Thanksgiving-related one, and so look for details about that coming up. Once we have the registration form ready, that'll be available, and then it'll be up on our events page too. And
100 years ago, what librarian would have even thought to do something
Right.
like that, right?
It's true, and
great?
libraries are definitely doing all that we can. That we're not just a repository for books. We're very much a place where the community can gather and learn and enjoy and find expression as well. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so those are fun. Also, if you're interested, I mentioned the YouTube channel earlier. The cupcake competition is up on our YouTube channel, and so
okay.
you can watch that on there if you like to.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yep. We are also partnering with NUCAT and again Red Dragon Gaming downtown to put on a fun show that'll be broadcast on NUCAT, and then it'll be available on YouTube as well. And we're calling it "Don't Forget to Read the Instructions." One of the things that I've done, I actually did research on it during my master's, is the educational value of tabletop games, of the fun, not just the fun, but also the learning that can take place behind them. And there's been a lot of research in the last 5 years about that. And so I ran a tabletop group at the last library that I worked at down in Arizona.
Okay.
And so Red Dragon Gaming has generously allowed us to borrow demonstration copies of some of the games that they have, and I teach my fellow librarians how to play. And so we introduce each episode we introduce a new game that probably many people have not heard of. We're not doing the standard old favorites, but new ones.
You're not going to do war, huh?
No, we're not going to do War or Monopoly or something like that. No, and we're getting ready for the third episode now. We finished 2 episodes so far, and so once those start broadcasting, I hope people will enjoy watching those, both learning the games as well as enjoying the banter between my coworkers and I. That's the fun part.
That's the fun part.
So,
Great.
Yep. So we have a number of things going on right now, and we're trying to look at other things to do as well.
Right. And now how has the COVID is affecting people
Some things.
getting their books out? Or?
A little bit. So your limit on the number of books you can check out hasn't changed. And of course, as of January at the beginning of this year, we're a fine-free library. So if your books are overdue, you don't accrue fines. Now, if you lose a book or you hold on it too long, we will charge you for it unless you bring it back. So make sure you do. But the recommendations from the Library of Congress and the Institute of Museum and Library Sciences, they've done a couple studies about how long COVID remains on library materials and whatnot. And so when you return materials to us, we do quarantine them for 3 days before we check them in.
Okay.
And that applies to also things that are requested from other libraries. We quarantine them for 3 days before we put them on the hold shelf and things like that. And so takes a little bit longer, and sometimes patrons have noticed they'll get a notification that their item was automatically renewed or that it's due when they've already returned it, and it's because of that 3-day delay
lapse.
that's going on. But patrons have been very understanding and have been very helpful, and we do a lot more cleaning. Quite a bit, and there aren't as many public computers available for use since they're spaced out more. But we're trying to provide patrons with the opportunities they can. We have at this point opened up a couple study desks upstairs in the nonfiction area, but they are spaced out, and we do ask that you don't move desks or chairs to move together, that you keep them separate and distanced.
You're 6 feet.
Yep.
Interesting. I mean, you're doing such a great job.
We're certainly doing our best. We love seeing the patrons in the library, and we've had so many people say once we were able to open again how much they missed coming into the library, and we are very happy to be able to provide the services that we can.
Right. I've got a question.
Sure.
I'm just writing this down so I don't forget. The little free libraries.
Oh, yes.
All right. Do we have some in New Ulm?
We do.
I thought I saw one the other day.
I've seen at least 4 different ones around town.
Now, how do they work?
Well, there is a Little Free Library organization nationally.
Okay.
And so a lot of times they administer funds for the creation of the physical object. Okay. But then it's just up to local community members. So if you see a book you like, you can take it. And if you have books that you'd like to put in, you can. And so
Well,
that's
I'm
always
wondering now, I've come here to the library, I got a book out, and I've done reading it, and I'm too lazy to bring it down here, but I've got a little free library.
No,
What
we
if I
don't
put
pick
it
them
in
up
there?
from, no, we don't pick them up from there, no.
You know what, I can imagine, well, I can see that happening.
Oh, yes, it's a possibility. And if you do happen to do that or see one of those, please bring it back to the library for us.
Because I saw one on Green Lake the other day, and I thought, oh, it wasn't from the New Ulm Library, it was from a different library. And I wondered about that.
Yeah, no, that's not an official return location for the library.
That's a private business.
Yeah, it's a private nonprofit that does that, and the swapping of the books is completely done by individuals.
Okay,
So,
all right.
yeah.
I mean, they're really nice to have.
Oh, yes, very.
They are really nice. And there's quite a few of them around Green Lake.
Okay.
Spicer. Yeah, and it's nice to have.
It is.
All right, nothing else coming up?
Just in the next 2 months, that's what we have at this point, but make sure you're checking our events page, and we'll be putting up promotional posters and flyers as well as we have events coming. We have a couple things scheduled out beginning of next year, but we want to make sure we have all our details down for that, and things may change depending on conditions.
And you still have Friends of the Library?
Absolutely.
The group is still going, and you've got bedtime story time.
Bedtime story time is not going on right now.
It's not,
so yeah.
because of COVID.
Because of COVID, yep.
Yeah, so they have to watch for that. And I know you've got a book sale every once in a while.
Every once in a while. Unfortunately, this fall we are not doing a book sale.
Okay, none this year.
And we're also not accepting donations at this time, mostly because we already have too many. We have quite a bit
Isn't that
in
a
our
nice
storage.
problem?
It is a nice problem. It's a very nice problem. And so a library collection is not a hoarder pile. It's we like to think of it as a living thing that we try to keep healthy. And so that involves adding to our collection. And we have wonderful library aides that are getting our books out. We just had a staff meeting this morning. Faster than we've ever had them before. So we're getting those new books to people, and so people can check them out. And it also involves weeding from our collection. And so books that are out of date, so they don't contain up-to-date information for nonfiction, or books that have been so well loved that they need to be replaced, or books that just haven't been checked out in years. And so maybe they'll find a good home in someone's personal library. And so we do have a cart with books for sale, but we're not doing a large-scale sale this fall.
Okay, all right, okay, because I know you've always got the table upstairs. Yeah. Okay, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Let's see. I guess just the one last thing is we do have a new Smithsonian poster exhibit in our hallway upstairs. We did have the World War I exhibit earlier in the year, and we now have the 19th Amendment exhibit for the women's rights to vote. There's some wonderful information on those posters, things from the Smithsonian Institute there, sharing about the struggle for women's votes, as well as specific incidences and individuals that helps bring that about.
Right, all right, okay. Well, let's make sure we get to the library, folks.
Yes, please do. We'll be happy to see you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It was nice meeting you.
Yes, it was very nice to meet you too.
do this
Thanks for
again.
having me on. I'd be happy to come back.
Yes. And we also want to thank the Prairie Arts Council, Southern Minnesota, for sponsoring and supporting the arts as they do. We are totally so appreciative of everything that they have done for all of the arts in this area. All right. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you the next time.